For decades, scientists believed that the Grand Canyon formed around 6 million years ago when the Plateau was lifted. But recent studies have suggested that it's actually much older. According to a team of geologists from the University of Colorado, the canyon could be up to 70 million years old. Now, the breathtaking Grand Canyon in Arizona is 277 miles long, buried about 3,000 to 6,000 feet deep and 49 miles wide. It's the only natural wonder on the surface that can be seen from the moon. Crazy! So how and when did the Grand Canyon form? Based on observations, some say the plateau existed before the Colorado River, but that has often created controversy because the Earth's water on the Colorado River has a lower elevation than the plateau itself. So how could the water go uphill to the Colorado River and carve the Grand Canyon? Many people agree on the scale of erosion, which is 1,000 cubic miles from the canyon itself and 100,000 rim rocks on the surface of the Grand Canyon. The canyon doesn't go around the plateau, it cuts through, further solidifying the opinion that the plateau was there before the Grand Canyon. Despite the mystery behind the formation of the Grand Canyon, there's still a lot more we're yet to know about this natural wonder, and what just happened shocked scientists. Curious to find out? Grab a bag of popcorn, let's dive in. The fascinating creation story. For many years, scientists believed that the Grand Canyon was created by the gradual erosion of the Colorado River, which slowly cut away at the rock over millions of years. But this theory has always been challenged because the canyon's upper layers are much younger than its lower ones. If the canyon was formed by erosion alone, why would the upper layers be so much younger than the lower ones? This mystery has puzzled scientists for decades, but a recent discovery by researchers has uncovered evidence that suggests that the Grand Canyon was actually formed by a combination of erosion and tectonic activity, which created a series of faults that allowed the river to carve out the canyon much more quickly than previously thought. It all started when a team of geologists were studying the rocks in the Grand Canyon and noticed something unusual. They found that the layers of rock in the canyon were tilted at an angle that couldn't be explained by erosion alone. This led them to suspect that some kind of tectonic activity must have been involved in the canyon's formation. To investigate this theory, the researchers used a technique called thermochronology, which allows them to measure the temperature of the rocks at different depths. By doing this, they were able to build a timeline of the canyon's formation and determine when the rocks were exposed to the surface. During the research, they discovered that the rocks at the bottom of the canyon were exposed to the surface much earlier than previously thought, which suggests that the canyon was formed much more quickly than the erosion theory would suggest. They also found evidence of faulting and uplift, which supports the theory that tectonic activity played a role in the canyon's formation. The mysterious waterfall. Scientists found a waterfall inside the Grand Canyon, and it was not just any waterfall. This one was unique in many ways. For starters, it was not visible from any viewpoint, trail, or overlook. It was completely hidden from sight. Moreover, it's not just any ordinary waterfall that you might see in a national park. This one was a vast and powerful waterfall, around 1,000 feet tall. It was so big that it could rival some of the most famous waterfalls in the world. The discovery of the waterfall in the Grand Canyon is a bit of a mystery, as there are no definitive records of who first found it or when it was first seen. However, a few theories and stories have been passed down over the years. One theory is that the waterfall was first seen by members of the Powell expedition, a group of explorers led by John Wesley Powell that traveled down the Colorado River in 1869. According to this theory, the waterfall was discovered by a member of the expedition named Alman H. Thompson, who reportedly saw the waterfall while scouting ahead of the main group. Another theory is that the waterfall was discovered by a group of Havasupai Indians who have lived in the Grand Canyon area for hundreds of years. According to this theory, the Havasupai have known about the waterfall for generations, but kept its existence a secret from outsiders in order to protect their sacred land. Regardless of who first discovered the waterfall, the Grand Canyon is now known as Havasu Falls and has become a popular destination for hikers and tourists who visit the Grand Canyon. The multi-purpose cave. The cave of the Grand Canyon was first discovered in 1927 by a group of archaeologists led by Dr. Julian Hayden. The team was exploring a remote area of the canyon when they stumbled upon a small crevice in the rock face. Upon closer inspection, they discovered that the crevice led to a large underground chamber. The cave was unlike anything the archaeologists had ever seen before. The walls were covered in intricate carvings and paintings depicting scenes of ancient life in the region. The colors were still vivid, and the details were astonishing, considering the cave had been hidden for centuries. The archaeologists spent several weeks exploring the cave and cataloging its contents. They found evidence of human habitation dating back over 4,000 years. The cave had been used by various indigenous tribes over the centuries as a place of worship and ritual. The carvings and paintings depicted religious figures, animals, and scenes of daily life. One of the most fascinating finds in the cave was a collection of pottery and tools. The artifacts were made from a variety of materials, including clay, bone, and stone. The tools were used for hunting, fishing, and making clothing and other household items. The pottery was decorated with intricate designs, indicating high craftsmanship. The archaeologists also found evidence of a burial site within the cave. Several skeletons were discovered, along with various items that were buried with them. The items included jewelry, pottery, and tools, indicating that the people buried in the cave were of high status within their community. The Mogollon Monster. The Mogollon Monster is a legendary creature that is said to inhabit the Mogollon Rim region of Arizona, particularly around the Grand Canyon. The creature is said to be a large, bipedal humanoid with shaggy hair and an ape-like appearance, standing between 6 and 8 feet tall, with glowing eyes and a very foul odor that makes you twitch your nose when around it. The first sightings of the Mogollon Monster were reported in the late 19th century, but it wasn't until the 1940s that the creature gained widespread attention. Some witnesses claimed to have seen the creature walking on 2 legs, while others said it moved more like a bear. In the decades since the first reports of the Mogollon Monster, there have been numerous sightings and encounters, but no concrete evidence has ever been found. Some have suggested that the creature could be a surviving remnant of the prehistoric Gigantopithecus, while others believe it is a completely new species that has yet to be classified by science. Despite the lack of hard evidence, the Mogollon Monster remains a popular subject of discussion among cryptozoologists and enthusiasts of the paranormal. Numerous books, documentaries, and television shows have been produced about the creature, and it continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. Whether the Mogollon Monster is real or simply a myth, its legend will likely endure for many years to come. The mummified bodies. In 1956, a group of explorers stumbled upon a shocking discovery in the Grand Canyon, a series of well-preserved mummified bodies that appeared to be several centuries old. The bodies were wrapped in a manner that suggested they were part of a burial ritual, and they were unlike anything that had ever been found in the region before. The mummified bodies were discovered in a remote cave system deep within the Grand Canyon, far from any known settlements or human activity. The explorers, who were on a scientific expedition to study the geological formations of the canyon, were stunned by what they found. The bodies were wrapped uniquely, suggesting they were part of a ceremonial burial ritual. Each body was carefully wrapped in a layer of woven fabric, followed by a layer of animal hide, and then a layer of clay. This process was repeated several times, creating a thick, protective coating around the body. Despite being several centuries old, the bodies were incredibly well preserved. The dry, arid conditions of the Grand Canyon prevented decay and decomposition, leaving the bodies largely intact. The explorers noted that the bodies appeared to be of Native American origin, and they speculated that they may have been part of a tribe that inhabited the region many years ago. The mummified bodies themselves were a source of fascination for the explorers. They appeared to be well-fed and healthy at the time of their deaths, and they were adorned with a variety of jewelry and other decorative items. The explorers also noted that the bodies were taller and more robust than the average Native American of the time, suggesting that they may have been a part of a distinct subgroup within the larger Native American population. So, from its origin to the wonders found within, this natural wonder never ceases to amaze us. The Grand Canyon is truly a wonder, as it exposes the power and beauty of nature. If you ever get the chance to visit the Grand Canyon, please do. It's an experience like no other.